You see, nobody say you know try. You are trying to be on your own. You are not looking for government. But yet their policies will still touch you, steal from you, destroy your efforts. So you don't need a professor. You don't need anybody to tell you what's going to happen. And then somebody will be like, oh, everything will be fine. Everything can be fine. Well, to some extent. What does that mean? What I listed earlier. When you go after the terrorist sponsor, the terrorist, you no longer do pardoning terrorists. Any captured terrorist will kind of count himself unlucky. A dead terrorist is a repentant terrorist, or a dead terrorist is a repented terrorist. But any terrorist captured alive, right? To make sure that the terrorist is has repented, then you have to build their camp in Sambisa. Enough that if you manage to round up to like 100,000 of them, and maybe exterminate more, maybe 200,000-300,000 more, then that your land will become a dreaded land. Their sponsor are also standing trial for murder, standing trial for treason, whatever you can set them up for, and they can get life sentences or death sentences. So when you send that kind of messages out, right, and your farmers and people are going back to their ancestral lands, indigenous homes, sure you get anyone who wants to kind of come out to try to terminate or obstruct that your whatever progressive agenda, they would have to think twice. But no, these ones are just telling themselves that no, everything is fine. In the same wastage jamboree or being a wastage galore, Tinubu is planning to spend 10 billion naira on constructing a solar panel for the Aso Rock right now. Solar panel. How much was Shitty Man's house then again? 21 billion. This is what comes to my mind. Ìjọba ebi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ìjọba ebi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ìjọba ebi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá, kò sí ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀. Ìjọba ebi ló kàn yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, okay? The man is begging the APC, Egbekegbe, to fear God. Abba, people are hungry. People are suffering. There is no peace of mind. Please, Ejo, Eberu Olorun, they fear God. That's the song. 10 billion naira to mount solar panel as alternative source of power for Aso Rock. Do you know that they are paying rent in Aso Rock? Nobody knows the landlord though. But when you begin to scrutinize their budget, you will see there, rent. I have not I've not seen any convincing explanation for what that is, but yeah. 400 million, 500 million naira rent for Aso Rock, paying it to who? 10 billion naira for solar panel. I mean, it would have been great, right? If indeed they are going to construct a solar panel, even if it's 2 billion naira, and then still 8 billion. You know something? They won't build any solar panel. Maybe not now. And that will appear in their budget every year, increasing, and they will be paying it out like their Aso Rock Clinic, right? Or Aso Rock Kitchen. Anyway, so Tinubu, it was a chance to deliver a written speech on renewable energy, to the United Nations Committee on Climate Change, I think. And here is the second boring part before we go to something interesting again. Okay. Call.
Prosperity for our people. Nigeria remains one of the Africa's leading voices on energy transition. At the core of our strategy is a comprehensive Nigeria Energy Transition Plan, ETP, which sets forth a bold and pragmatic pathway to net zero emission by 2060. Our plan, anchored upon 5 core sectors: power, cooking, transportation, oil and gas, and industry, identifies both the required financial resources and had an estimated 410 billion through year 2060. And the policy reforms needed to unlock them. We, therefore, in the process of signing our regulatory environment, physical incentives, and institutional framework to ensure that energy access, decarbonization, and economic competitiveness proceed in lockstep. We are also taking leadership in every energy areas in partnership with the World Bank and the African Development Bank. Nigeria serves as an anchor country in the Mission 300 initiative to deliver access to electricity to 300 million people by 2030. In January, I joined other African presidents to sign the Jerusalem Declaration and lead my country's representation of our National Energy Compact. This compact, among the first of its kind in Africa, lays out our policy reform commitment and specific investment opportunities in the energy sector. It sets quantifiable targets to grow electricity, access and increase clean cooking penetration. We are working to build capacity and ensuring that we meet targets, reflecting not just our ambition, but also a commitment to a measurable level. As part of our broader energy reform architecture, we have also taken important steps to institutionalize and activate a carbon market, the carbon market ecosystem in March 2025. We finalized the Nigerian Carbon Market Activation Policy, which provides a clear framework to drive high integrity emission reductions, attract private capital, and establish Nigeria as a credible destination for voluntary and compliance carbon finance. Our target is to mobilize up to $2.5 billion by 2030 from high-quality credits and carbon-related investments. Furthermore, Nigeria is actively updating national determined contributions, NDC, in line with the guidance from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, with a view to presenting a comprehensive plan for September 2025. Critically, our climate strategy is not limited to planning regulations. It is also rooted in market reform. We are working to position Nigeria as a premier destination for climate-smart investment through the development of global climate change investment fund, which will serve as a platform to blend public and private capital, de-risk green infrastructure, and finance clean energy solutions. The fund will support key national priorities such as green industrial hubs, e-mobility infrastructure, regenerative agriculture, the renewable energy, mini grids for underserved community. Our comprehensive hope today would not have been possible without this strategic collaboration. I wish to extend my deep appreciation to the United Nations and its particularly Sustainable Energy for Road for their continued advisory and technical support. But know that one thing is clear. Africa is at the receiving end of the climate change more than any other continent. Special attention needs to be placed on the need of Africa, and the carbon credit was to justify the need for our changes. In closing, let me read.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
So they are trying to sort of like job the United Nations for, what do you call it, for their dollars. Those ones will give them other presentation stuff, right? Climate change, this, that, yeah. So that's what Tinubu put up. Just put up a show, act up like. So somebody who was asking what's the meaning of a call, if you know about a coli, I've been a coli, when those chicken are about to like, yeah, exactly. So when you look at Kolu during the election, right, during the charade, it was always it was always high, kind of, if you remember. So somebody now called him Kolu. That God, this what was, what is our sin? Yeah, that you have to want to punish us with this one. Look at him. Look at the. I don't know if some of you saw that video. I can look for it and show it. That's where the call comes in. That's where he started handling it. Until tomorrow, he's still very much a call. Anyway, going forward. So now that we have left the boring part, let's go to say a bit of interesting parts. You see, lately, when especially the Delta State PDP guys that decamped to APC, and by Monday, they are organizing a mega rally. You see, some people have said that doesn't mean anything, while others believe, no, it means so much. So the debate has been raging kind of everywhere. People have been like sharing their views, this and that. In that space, we have had people who believes that the only way to remove Tinubu is for the opposition people to come together, while others believe that let us not deceive ourselves. This is a foregone thing. You see, there are more governors who are still going to go and join APC, and they are doing so because everybody wants to be on the one side, and that is the side. That is the side of Tinubu, the man they call the master strategist in politics. You would wish that he's also a master strategist in governance. How wonderful it would be, like by appointing real sensible people, like intelligent people to really run your affair for real. They will be corrupt, but they will still be doing Anyway, so they are saying that Tinubu, Mr. Strategist, has won over his opposition by using the instrument of his power, intimidation, carrot and stick kind of, So First, they will offer you something, whatever you want, just name it, you'll be given. When you say no, then they will use the stick. So the first one is that carrot. The second one is stick. So it seems that not many of them want to see Tinubu say stick because compromise on them, right? There are compromise. Yeah, there are compromise on all of them. So for Tinubu, if the Northern Nigeria decided to want to play smart, he has a two joker for them. The first one is to pick up as many opposition as possible, especially from southern part of Nigeria, all right, to join him in this public sort of a show of support, loyalty, or what have you, that will make it look like I'm not doing it for Tinubu, I'm doing it for the South. I'm not doing it for this, I'm doing it for that. All of that cover up, sure you get. That's the first, the first one. The second one that Tinubu is planning to use is this rumored censor. It's not actually rumored anymore. It's crazy, right? So Tinubu is planning to conduct census. So there are some people from northern part of Nigeria that believes that the reason why Tinubu is planning to do that is to further demystify this northern majority, northern population. How could they do that? It's a betrayal. So some of them are already working to ensure that they sabotage it. However, Tinubu has nominated some of his ministers, some of them from northern Nigeria, okay, some of his ministers as the committee to spearhead the organization of the head count in Nigeria using scientific. Here you go. So the North says they can't trust him. That is a tax reform that is claiming, is an effort to cut them off from the cookie jar, Niger. So eventually they had their way. Not Tinubu's, okay, maybe Tinubu also had his way, because the reason why Tinubu is pushing this tax that initially is not because he wants to really generate any money for you or improve your IGR or what have you. No. It is because of that is 10% that will later go to him, whether he is your president or he's not your president. So once it is by law, that you have to give that to an agency. So Tinubu is only interested in that 10%. So whether all of them agree for them to do tax reform or agree, the thing is this. For those of you who no agree, tell us why. Those of you who agree, why? Now, you know what? Now, let's meet them in the middle. She is about sharing formula, B. No wala. The intention is to actually make me the person sharing it. Again, if you don't get that, okay, that's up to you. So, but they believe, like, Tinubu's effort is to continue to try to, so to Tinubu's, even to Tinubu's adversaries, not admirers in the South, some of them on this, they are like, yeah, we want you to deal with the North. Deal with them. We want him to, you get what I mean now? So if the census is considered as anti-North, you should expect a massive resistance towards that, okay? Until probably it won't also achieve whatever the intention is. But Tinubu is believed to be doing all of this enough that by the time you get to 2026, it would consider the entire charade election as a walkover. Well, some people are disagreeing with that. No, my friend, if you understand, this is not me, people. My friend, if you understand how politics work, you will know that coalition never starts. Because, in PDP, who want to act like they are opposition, you know their story. They are dead, practically dead. It's just a platform where they can still manipulate the system in their favor. They can actually, use it as a vehicle to gain power. But to these ones now, who are now leaving the PDP, they believe that it is even worse than what you can imagine. Here is what, here is what one of the supposed lawmakers, national lawmakers from Delta State, this is what this one had to say concerning the reason why they are joining TIF. No, don't worry, we know why. But this is what he had to say about his party, PDP, that made them to go and join Tinubu.